It's been nearly 8 months since Apple released the second generation AirPods Pro 2, but how have they held up after months of use? Welcome everybody, welcome to Apple Insider. It is Andrew here, and I am a huge fan of AirPods. I have all of them, frankly. I've got the AirPods Pro 2, I've got my third generation AirPods, I still have a set of the first generation AirPods with the wireless charging case here on my desk. I use them all kind of in different ways, but I primarily use the AirPods Pro. And Apple released a new version of the AirPods Pro, the second generation model, in September, the end of September of 2022. Now here we are mid-May, and it's been nearly 8 months since these have come to market. So of all the new features, what have been actual really nice to have, and which ones were kind of just marketing hype that I don't even remember anymore 8 months after launch? There are 7 big changes that came to the AirPods Pro 2. Let's first talk about the audio quality ones, then some of the hardware changes. For audio, Apple is touting better audio, twice as good ANC, and adaptive transparency mode. Honestly, the audio quality isn't substantially better. I really don't notice it that much, and I sometimes go back and forth between these, my old set, and while I do notice a difference if I'm paying attention, for most stuff, it's not a huge difference in terms of audio quality. The audio quality upgrade in terms of just listening to music is not worth, the upgrade to get the new model. Adaptive transparency mode, though, and the improved ANC have both been welcomed. I've definitely noticed an improvement with the ANC on recent flights, and it's done a much better job of cutting down that background droll. And adaptive transparency mode has been especially useful as I've been working in the wood shop. Every time I go to use a power tool, it's able to just dampen that so it's not blaring into my ears. I can sit in the wood shop, put in my AirPods Pro, listen around me, around what's going on, but I can also have it mute or at least lessen the volume of the power tools that I'm using. I know not everyone is in a wood shop and worrying about stuff like that, but if you were ever using tools or at a concert and things get too loud, all these different scenarios, these are still able to, on device, turn down that volume so when you use transparency mode, you don't get deafeningly blasted into the ear. Slightly related to audio, Apple allows you to adjust the volume by sliding your finger up and down the stems of the AirPods Pro 2. This feature, while nice, is one that I don't rarely utilize. I have my Apple Watch, so while I'm listening to something, it's a lot easier to adjust the digital crown to adjust the volume rather than reaching up to my ear and adjusting it that way. That brings me to the 3 other hardware changes, and honestly, these are the biggest ones for me actually using them. First is battery life. Apple has improved the battery life by an hour and a half, and honestly, it's a huge difference. Especially after a few years, my AirPods Pro, they're starting to die fairly quickly after about an hour and a half to 2 hours of listening, far below what Apple is promising. Not only these have original battery life, but it's even longer than the original ones were out of the box. This is a huge upgrade, and it'll give more usability to them long term as that battery life starts to decrease a little bit with age. Seriously, it's just really nice to be able to go these longer terms without having to pop them into the case to charge them up again. The other difference is Apple's allowed this to charge in more ways than before. So you can use Lightning, you can use Qi, and you can use MagSafe. You can even use the Apple Watch charger with the second generation AirPods Pro. I still don't use this all that much, but what I've been more annoyed with is the lack of third-party cases that have added MagSafe. A lot of big companies like Nomad and Belkin and InCase, all of these big companies that you usually see with AirPods cases, haven't adopted MagSafe charging into their cases yet. So you have to either use Qi or Apple Watch Puck, but you can't use MagSafe because it'll just fall right off. One of the few that I found is here from ESR, which while it's not my favorite looking case, it actually supports MagSafe, which is pretty handy. You just put this on here, there's magnets along the back, and it'll snap onto any MagSafe charger you've got. Again, not the prettiest looking case in my opinion, but it's at least one of the few that actually supports MagSafe, which is my primary means of charging up my AirPods Pro. Finally, Apple added precision finding and a speaker to the AirPods Pro case. I'm not going to go too much into the lanyard because most cases already had lanyard attachments and I'd rather just use that. But the precision finding and the speaker have been clutch. My wife still has her first generation AirPods Pro and she loses them all the time. She can find her earbuds if she leaves them outside of the case, but the case itself, she can never remember where it gets placed. Is it on our workout bike? Is it in the kitchen? Is it in her office? Is it in the car? It can be a pain to track down because the regular Find My abilities just lack on the first generation set. These have the same precision finding as AirTags, and honestly, I've used it so many times that it's fallen on the couch, in a pair of pants, in my room, all sorts of places, but the speaker combined with precision finding have been a huge upgrade in finding these and is much better than most of the third-party headphones that I've tried because none of them have a feature that can compare to Apple's precision finding. So what do you guys think? Have you gotten AirPods Pro 2 yet? Do you think they were a good upgrade if you had the last generation set? Let me know down below in the comments or on Twitter at Andrew_OSU. Also, let me know if there's any features you'd like to see in a third generation AirPods Pro. Otherwise, stay tuned. I've got so many more videos coming your way.